Our next one is a little barbecue. It can be done on a cupcake or a brownie bite. But the first thing we need to do is make our grill. So we're going to use a toothpick and some of our lovely melted chocolate, and I've drawn a grill on my wax paper here. I'm just going to put this on. Not too thick, but not super thin, because it will break if you're not careful. I'm just going to paint around this line. And the nice thing about chocolate is you can move it out of the way if it gets where you don't like it when it starts to dry. So this is a little messy. I went outside my line, so I will fix that up in a minute. So we're going to just go all the way around, just dipping with chocolate. When you draw your line on, you should be doing it on parchment paper or wax paper. That way it peels right off. Doesn't seem to work on saran wrap or plastic wrap of any kind or foil. So wax paper or parchment paper are your choice. And I'm just going to get around here. And I decided that this little bit was too messy, so I'm just going to scrape it off and just get it out of the way and it'll just break off. So there's my ring, and I'm just going to go across the lines. And then we're going to pop it in the freezer where it will dry. We're now going to make our barbecue. So we're going to take our little brownie bit or cupcake, whichever. We don't need icing, but it has some advantages. If you don't have any icing, don't worry about it. So we're going to ice our first little guy. And if you want a very simple way to deal with the grill situation, just draw your lines in with a toothpick. That way you don't need to worry about the chocolate. You can draw a circle around it too. And there you have it. So that's one way. The other way is to use just the plain icing, or you can use some Oreo crumbs to give those little chocolate briquettes. Just kind of tap them in. If you want to be really fancy, you can use colored sugar, and I have black and yellow and orange and red, and that just adds a little brightness to it. So there we have our basic grill. Now we're going to take 3 pretzels. They're a little long as is, so I'm just going to break off a little bit. Doesn't really matter how high you want it, but you do want all 3 legs to be about the same. I'm just going to stick them in the bottom, preferably equidistant and pointing out a little bit so that he doesn't fall over. Okay, so there we have our little guy. Now, you may have noticed he has little wheels because he is a portable barbecue. So we take our chocolate, put it on a Smartie, and just lean it up. And we'll do all 3 wheels. Okay, so he's done for the moment. We're now going to just work on our toppings. So we have lots of choices. I'll show you how to make the hot dog. So this is a Mike and Ike candy. The other choice is a red jelly bean. It's a little fatter, so it's going to make you a much fatter hot dog, but that's okay. So these are kind of nice with a little stripe on them. So I just do it on the diagonal with chocolate on my toothpick. And you might notice that this one has its own mind where it wants to lie, so that's okay. We'll just continue the line. So that's that. And for our burgers, I'm going to use a Tootsie Roll. Dark colored saltwater taffy works too, but it's a little soft, particularly in this heat. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this off. And it already is mostly burger shaped. I'm just going to round it out a bit. There we go. Just the heat of my hands will generally soften it. Then we're going to take another one of our favorite toothpicks, press in some grill marks, usually 2, and there we have it. So we have a hamburger, a hot dog, and you can also do little skewers. These are made with Mike's and Ike's again, red, yellow, orange, and the green is actually a little bit of jelly bean. Or you could make a steak or a chicken leg. So if you're making the cupcake, I made the skewers a little bigger, and they are made with pieces of jelly bean. So just that little bit fatter. Okay, so we're now ready to get our grill out of the freezer. So you may remember it is on a piece of wax paper or parchment paper. You should be able to just peel it back. This even set without it being on there. Peel it back very carefully. I recommend actually making a few because they do break. So make a few so that you have extra, and if all else fails, you have something to eat. So we're just going to take our extra one here, plunk it on the grill, add our little burgers and hot dog, and there you have your summer grill. So enjoy your summer.